Good morning or evening, friends. How are y'all doing? Hope you are doing well. Happy Friday. Moving into that weekend. Hope you guys had a great work week and or school week. Hope you are ready for this weekend. I am ready. I'm going to bring you a couple of matches. It's going to be great. Yzma, put your hands in the air. Gonna start off with this here gal. Making the climb up this ladder, trying to get that silver. Again, that is the goal. The goal is to reach silver rank by the end of the month. I think it's possible. And if we keep playing like that, oh yeah. What you want? Come on, gal. Come on, gal. Come on, Gully. I just actually watched a stream. That reminds me right there with the sweep there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, if you are playing Street Fighter V and you block a sweep, you need to be getting your damage. There is damage to be had. You need to be getting damage. And I'm not doing it right here. Find you an attack that reaches and that's relatively quick, or even not quick. 9 times out of 10, you can get a sweep out of it. I wouldn't try it if you're Bison. But you can normally get some attack after you block a sweep. Make sure you get your damage. There is no reason to leave damage on the table. If you don't know exactly what damage to get, then get something. Get some hit. Backing him down. Where you going, guy? Huh? Where you going? I actually need to practice this matchup a little bit. Falk has some really good tools. I don't know the best times and places to use them. So I really need to practice this matchup because a lot of people are playing Guile. And a lot of people are playing Guile on actually a pretty good level. If I'm playing against somebody who, knows at least something about Guile, it's probably a good idea for me to sit back, learn what I can, and that way I am more prepared when I fight Guile. Right now, I see him, and the first thing that I always think is, I don't like this matchup. And I don't know for sure that there's going to be anything that will make me think otherwise about that. I may always hate the Guile matchup. That's fine. There's no problem with hating a matchup. But you need to feel comfortable and competent in the matchup. So I might be reaching out to some Guile players or something like that and see what I can figure out. I also would like to reach out to some Akuma players. So if you play Guile or Akuma, or if you know somebody that plays Guile or Akuma, tell them to get at me. I want to make sure I play the matchup right. Especially against a good Guile. This Guile right here is actually pretty decent. I think, at least. I don't think he punished me for my jump ins quite as much as he should have. But, live and learn, then get loves. Yeah, boy! We jumping? And that was just me being stupid. Like, I know the matchup enough to know you're not supposed to jump in on Guile. There are a lot of characters in this game. Shout out to Robert if you hear this. Big Rob, Black Rob! Here's the thing. I was teaching a friend of mine how to play Street Fighter. He played Street Fighter for quite some time, but never really seriously. Like, when you're kids, everybody's played Street Fighter, particularly if you're around our age. Street Fighter 2, you've played it before, you understand it. You understand how the game works. I was teaching him to play when Street Fighter 4 came out. And his whole thing, I used to tell him all the time, do not jump against Ken or Ryu. Or Guile. Just don't jump in on. And he's like, that makes sense. You should not have a character you just can't jump at. You took out the whole part of the game. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of the point. You have these anti-airs. You have to utilize them. And you have to make sure that you use them to the best of your abilities while making it difficult for your opponent to use them. So, if you jump in on Guile, he has his flash kick. And man, it's got a really good range. It's got a really good hitbox. There's no reason to not use that flash kick. So you have to know that you need to be more careful when you jump in. Now, he was just learning, so my first thought process wasn't necessarily show him how to jump in, but to instill the danger of jumping in, just let him know, don't jump in. Shoryuken's gonna be there, don't jump in. Somersault kick's gonna be there, don't jump in. I don't think it's called flash kick, but I've called it flash kick all my life. But you got to be careful when you're going to jump in on characters that have really good anti-air attacks. just because you're playing into their game that way. The only tournament experience I had with Street Fighter 4 was before I really knew characters that well, and I was playing against a Ryu, and instead of playing Ryu, I ended up playing Ken. And I mean, he basically threw fireballs, and when I jumped, he would uppercut me, Shoryuken. When I didn't jump, he would, or when I stayed back, he'd just keep throwing fireballs and get chip, 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 chip. Keep me at a decent enough range to when I jumped, he could get his Shoryuken, hop back, and be back and ready for it again, once again. And it frustrated me, but it didn't make me too mad because I realized he had developed a strategy. And in his strategy, I should have been able to beat it. It's honestly not that hard to beat, but I didn't. Particularly using Ken, you know, as Ken, you, if nothing else, have your Shoryuken or your Hadouken to kind of keep him back off, and your Shoryuken is usually a little bit stronger. And I didn't utilize any of that. Like, I just got scraped. So it's things you learn. I know that sounded a little rambly, but that was to get back to the notion of anti-airs. Make sure if you're going to jump in, use your anti-airs. I'm going to do a little segment or something like that on like the 5 things. I don't know if I'm going to do a fighting game or just Street Fighter, but just things that you really need to watch out for. Yeah, I love that attack. I really wish he had another crush counter, though, a better crush counter than that. But I want to do something about the things you kind of need to look out for when you play a fighting game. And one of them is the air. Particularly when you're playing a game like Street Fighter. You can't block in the air. So you got to be careful in the air because you are giving yourself up for damage every time you take the air. So that should make sure that you make smart jumps. I'm not saying not to jump. I'm saying make smart jumps. Yeah, we got to talk about that one day. And your angles. Oof. Listen, that almost looked like I knew what I was doing. I think I finally crossed over 100 matches with Falk. I gotta check that to be on the safe side. Yeah, you can't jump in, baby. Cannot jump in unless you're gonna be floaty. He needs to be. If his hurricane kick was a little more floaty, that probably would be a very good decision to jump up, do a hurricane kick, get to the other side, and then be able to do some damage. But because it comes down at such a harsh angle, my Schneider's going to hit him, even if it's just a tip of it. Just a tip. Alright, I'm sorry. Yeah, don't jump. Stay on the ground. I got to have confidence in my strikes. Also, that's another thing. When you see people playing a projectile game, you've got to have enough confidence in your own game to be able to walk up, block. Walk up, block. Walk up, block. I see so many people immediately jumping. Even I'm jumping right now, but the jump in, only at a certain angle is that a good idea. If you're at the right distance, ooh, I'm getting so much damage off that. If you're at the right distance, you can... Ooh, man, I had that too. That was the end of the round. Well, that's still the end of the round. But if I have the right distance, every time he throws Shoryuken, or not Shoryuken, Hadouken, I can punish him every single time. I just got to see it coming and go with it. I'm not doing that particularly well. Oh, I was just a little off. But... you know, you can be punishing him for that. You don't have to jump all the time. You don't have to jump over every fireball. Sometimes it is better, particularly in this game where you can't die from chip, to just walk up, block. Walk up, block, walk up, block, walk up, block. Yeah, what you want to do? Yeah, I got that combo going. It's a very simple combo. I should never drop that. It's almost like God could see that in the future and was like, hey, finish your sentence so I can make you look stupid for dropping that combo you just said not to drop because it's very simple. Thanks, God. Never get too cocky, man. Pride comes before the fall. Missed my shot. Still not very good on those. Hey, alright. Still not very good on those shots. I gotta do better with those. And I will. Redeemed myself after that first loss, where Guile was basically picked me up, turned me upside down, and used me as a mop. Redeemed myself, and now we got this here Alex. This here Alex. Now, for the record, let me stop for a second. Let me stop. I understand that we play online. Because I understand that we play online, I understand that lag is an issue. And because lag is an issue, you can't get mad if it exists. You can get mad if someone exploits it, but don't get mad simply because it exists. If you don't like lag, don't play online. That's an absolutely fair assessment of it. But you don't have to exploit it. And I think that's the issue that I ran into with this match. Is that we had somebody that, like, his rank is pretty good. And I don't think he played anything particularly well. I think he exploits a laggy network. And I'll show you when it happens. Yeah, get thrown in the corner. Yeah, get shot. Yeah, get shot again. See that? Now, I'm not saying I don't think he's that good because I beat him that first round. But just some of the decision making that goes on, I think, you know, I think my decision it's around the same as my decision making. I don't think my decision making is all that good. But here we go. You're starting to see stronger lag, and what you see is the aggressive position that he goes into when that lag happens. That's probably the first time we had that level of lag in this match, but it's not going to be the first time that I point that out. Yeah, get that comeback though. You see that? I just went through him. I don't think that was supposed to happen. Alright, so we're doing pretty well. I need to keep better spacing. I did not connect right there. I actually did press the button. I just came out late. Keep him busy. Keep him at a distance. And again, lag happens. He is very aggressive when lag happens. When the screen freeze happens, he goes from being a little more defensive and a little more strategic to just walking forward and doing heavies. And I don't like that. I don't necessarily blame him for it, but I'd be lying if I was cool if I said like when it happened I was cool with it. Like in this particular case, you see me jumping back because there was lag. But if you watch him, almost every time there's lag and a screen freeze type of lag, he's on the attack. And I don't like that, because you're taking a situation, and I understand that I could do it too. Like I absolutely could, you know, particularly once I see him doing it, I can say, oh wait, I gotta stop myself. But I don't think we should have to. I think we should all have enough common sense to say, hey, there's lag, we should back up or something like that. However, I'm not calling him a bad player or a cheater or anything like that. Simply because, again, I understand that lag exists in an online environment. So if you're going to play online, that's something you got to be ready for. Is it something that I would do? No. But neither is camping. And camping is fine. It's just a part of the game. That's right. I said it. I stopped camping once I learned how to play first-person shooters. And I stopped trying to abuse lag once I started learning how to play fighting games. Or at least I stopped trying to learn how to abuse lag in fighting games when I learned how to play fighting games. Now, in an instant like this, what I used to do was, once lag appeared, I'd just walk forward and keep mashing throw, because it's almost impossible to tech if you weren't already teching. And even then, it's almost impossible to take the next one or the next one or the next one or the next one or the next one. So, you know, the better I got at the game, the more I stopped doing things like that. Not bad, but felt questionable. Either way, there's no lag going on right now. We got a pretty good match going on. Could go with anybody's favor. That's good for a tie-up. Oh, he got me. And it is what it is. Part of me was on the tilt because I was still thinking about the lag or whatever, but you can only really blame yourself for that because even if you did abuse it, you let yourself get taken out of the game. Either way, thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Take care, everybody. Peace out.